YouTuber MKBHD, aka Marquez Brownlee, dropped his very first product release, and it happens to be a shoe collaboration. And he did this with the brand Atom, and I want to know, can a YouTuber make a decent sneaker, or is it just a cash grab? Is it a decent shoe for the price? And if this wasn't associated with a YouTuber and it was made by Nike or some other brand, how would it hold up to scrutiny? And this video is brought to you by Bright Cellars. And if you don't know who Bright Cellars is, it's spelled with a C, like a wine cellar, because it's a wine club that believes anybody can experience the joy of wine. They're doing this by combating wine snobbery in the wine industry by delivering the joy of wine outside the wine tasting room straight to your door. I'm a complete wine novice, so I don't know anything about wine. So when it comes to when people go to the tastings and they're getting different hints of things, it seems half made up to me, if I'm being honest. But the nice thing about Wine Cellars is you can take a quick 7-question quiz. They match you with the wines from across the world, curated specifically to your taste palette. And so if you like sweet wines, they'll set you up with that. If you like really bitter wines or whatever flavors that you like, they'll figure it out for you. And they have tons of different options as well. You can get 100+ different varieties sourced from 10+ different countries, delivered right to your front step. And each box comes with a wine education cards for each bottle that outlines tasting notes, suggested pairings, and best serving temperatures and origins. And they have a concierge team that will help you with any questions you might have, and each box gets better and better as you rate and dial in which wines you like and which ones you didn't. So follow the link in my description and get your first 6-bottle box, $150 value for just $60, and thanks again to Bright Cellars. So who is Marquez Brownlee? Well, he is a YouTuber that reviews tech, and he first started posting videos in 2009 as tutorials, and eventually he moved to reviews. And then in 2013, MKBHD published their very first viral video that racked up 1 million views in a single day. And then by 2014, he was featured on sites like The Verge, Huffington Post, CNET, Time Magazine, and NBC News. And then a pivotal moment happened in December of 2015 when he interviewed Kobe Bryant, where he talked about Kobe and his tech interests, and most importantly, his recent Kobe designed shoe. Then in 2018, he won the Shorty Awards Creator of the Decade Award. 2019, his popularity continued to grow and boom, and expanded into several different channels with retro tech, waveform, and the studio. And then fast forward to today, and Marquez has continued to succeed on YouTube and had really high level interviews with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. His channel has 17 million subscribers and racked up 3.5 billion views. For context, my channel has 800,000 subscribers and we have 150 million views. That's an M, not a B, like Marcus. And then also in this year, he dropped this shoe for pre-order, the MKBHD X Atom Model 251. And as far as I understand, because I got on the pre-order, all these have just barely been delivered to everyone that got on the pre-order. And so that's why I wanted to do this video. And then who is Atom, the company behind actually manufacturing this shoe? Well, the owners of Atom met in 2005 in their home, Pakistan, and they both had a passion for footwear. Then in 2012, they started their very first shoe company making leather sandals, but after seeing the popularity of sneakers in the United States, they decided to pivot into sneakers. And then in 2018, Atoms did their very first pre-order on their first sneaker. And then in 2019, Atoms publicly launches their brand. And then by 2020, Marquez and Atoms first crossed paths after purchasing a face mask from them during the COVID pandemic. And then in 2021, Marquez and Atoms start laying the groundwork for the collaboration sneaker. Then after 2 years of working on the design, leads up to the release of this sneaker. So what is this sneaker? Well, the brand is MKBHD X Atoms. The style is the M251, a callback to MKBHD's first YouTube video that was 2 minutes and 51 seconds long. They weigh 13.3 ounces. They retail for $189, and they're made in South Korea. And the way that they position this is a collaboration between Marquez Brownlee and Atom represents a partnership between two innovative minds and a shared love for creativity, functionality, and quality. The limited edition sneaker features a sleek design that blends style and comfort, paying homage to Marquez's first YouTube video and the start of his journey as a creator. And that didn't really explain any of the functionality and the reason why they designed this. So we did a little digging through some interviews, and we found the majority of his goals seemed to be he wanted to make a lightweight sneaker similar to the Adidas NMDs. He wanted the silhouette to resemble the Jordan 1s. He wanted them to be super comfortable because he does a lot of standing, crouching, walking. And he wanted to have all-day comfort for all of his tiring activities. And the last thing, he said he wanted this to be a 4-season shoe, and he said a lot of engineering went into making these to be able to be worn for all 4 seasons. So we are gonna put that to the test to see if he achieved these goals or if this is just a cash grab. So first, is it light? Yes, it's under a pound, so very lightweight for a high top sneaker. So lightweight, it's a little bit concerning, to be honest. When we first got them, I was like, oof, I don't know. Next thing, is it similar to the Jordan 1 silhouette? Yeah, it's pretty close. But as for the claims that actually matter, let's start with the comfort for standing, walking, crouching, for all day comfort. And a lot of the potential comfort of the sneaker is going to come from the outsole and the midsole. And this outsole is a unique material, it's a TPV. And it's very, very soft. I thought it was just foam when we first got it. And if you don't know what TPV is, it's an abbreviation for thermoplastic vulcanizates, which is really similar to TPU, which is a common material for outsoles like brands like Blundstone. And in general, just to kind of round off this information, TPV is better than TPU in a couple ways. It has better grip in wet conditions because it's a little more porous. It's softer because it's a lower density, but TPV is worse at wear resistance, or it wears faster because it's lower density. And it's not very oil resistant because of the porous nature of TPV. Stuff seems to get stuck inside those tiny little pores. But there's obviously a lot bigger factors that could affect this, like the thickness. And fortunately, there's these little cutouts on the outsole, so we're able to take a caliper and actually measure how thick the outsole is. And it's only 3 millimeters. So it's a little on the thin side for sneakers. Most of the time you see 5 to 6, if not a little bit thicker, but rarely do we see a 3 millimeter thick outsole. And it's a very soft outsole too. It's only a 50 short A, but it did take 100 pounds to puncture through with the puncture test. So TPV, being a faster wearing material, and being that there's these giant holes in the outsole and it's only half the thickness of regular sneakers, I have some serious concerns about the longevity. Obviously there's more materials to look at, but it's a little bit concerning. But his goal wasn't really to make a durable sneaker. He wanted a sneaker that was ultra comfortable, which is mostly determined by the midsole. So once again, because of these little cutouts, it actually allows us to put a little caliper or a little durometer meter in there to see how hard it is. And it's very, very soft. It's only a 10 short A. And to put that in perspective, most of the foam we see is anywhere between like 20 to 40 short A, and the only other sneaker or shoe that I can even think of that has a 10 short A midsole is the Yeezy Knit Runners, and it was ridiculously soft, almost too soft, which some people are happy to sacrifice longevity for comfort, but then you remember these are nearly 200 bucks. So for me, I'd be fine with thinner and softer materials like a pair of Hey Dudes at the price of Hey Dudes, under 100 bucks. But for 200 bucks, it's a tough justification for a quick wearing outsole and midsole. And it's not like these are gonna wear out in the next few days. I think as long as you're mostly wearing them in the office and you're really not hitting the pavement or doing anything too intense in them, they should be okay. But at the end of the day, it's a $190 gamble on the longevity of these shoes. Which kind of brings us to the next point. Is this a 4-season shoe? Well, there's not much about the outsole that screams a 4-season shoe. And if anything, if you just looked at this objectively, you might, through the lens of 4 seasons, you might be like, oh, this is a summer only outsole. But the outsole isn't everything. So if we look at the upper, for a 4-season sneaker, you'd probably want some leather because of its inherent durabilities and its other properties. So is there any leather? Well, we took the macro lens and you can see it has an embossed finish on it and it looks like there's plastic on top. And then we looked at the cross section and it doesn't look like leather. So we put the lighter to it on each of these panels and there is no leather on the shoe, which once again, not a big deal for a cheaper shoe. Like for 60 bucks, I would not expect much leather on a shoe, but for $200, where's all the money going? If it's not like the outsole and the lack of leather, we're like, 200 bucks, where's it going? Because fake leather is a fraction of the cost of real leather, but it is lighter than leather. But I don't think that's why they used it. You know, he has the goal of making it lighter, but it's not like it's that much lighter. And there's an argument to be made that synthetic leather has less of an environmental impact. But if you use the right leather from a reputable tannery, I personally think it has less of an environmental impact. And ultimately, for me, the question is, what would you rather throw away or bury? Would you rather throw away mostly plastic or biodegradable leather? And there's plenty of tanning processes that are very natural. There's bad tanning processes, but there's very clean, eco-friendly tanning processes. And so for me, as long as people are still eating beef, I've yet to hear a solid argument of why fake leather would be any better for the environment than real leather. And for a $200 shoe, you have plenty of room to get the best leather and good enough leather that it won't have as much of an environmental impact, if that's the goal of why they went that direction. So is this a 4-season shoe? No, it's kind of an office shoe and like a summer shoe, like a little kick around shoe. It's not a 4-season shoe. There's really no features in this at all that you could even point to say they attempted to make a 4-season shoe. And then one really unique thing is they say the lining has antimicrobial copper threads all throughout the lining to prevent the shoe from stinking, which sounds like some BS if we're being honest. So we put the macro lens on it to see if we could see any copper anywhere. We put the lighter to it. We did everything we could, and I don't see any hints of copper anywhere. You know, maybe this tongue, there's a little bit of coppery color in the tongue, but if it's only in the tongue, what are we doing? And if there's so little copper in this that we can't even really detect it in any way, I can't imagine it actually has an impact on the odor resistance. At least not enough to be promoting it as a feature. So to me, it's coming off like a whole lot of BS. So not looking great for Marquez, but there could be some stuff on the inside that could be the saving grace of these shoes. Maybe there's something I'm missing on the inside. So let's cut it in half and really see if this is just a cash grab. All right, we got it cut in half, and consider subscribing. It's a free little click and it helps us out a lot, helps us keep our views up with YouTube's algorithms always all over the place, helps with sponsors, and it's really what helps us afford to cut apart 2 pairs of footwear every single week. So let's see what's inside. So what's on the inside? Honestly, nothing more than we expected, unfortunately. So now to the questions. Is it comfortable? Yes, he nailed that one through and through. This thing is about as comfortable as a sneaker with this type of silhouette that you can get, or at least that I've experienced. Is it a good shoe for the price? Well, you tell me. It's synthetics all the way through, really thin materials, lots of foam. So for me, if someone handed me this shoe and they asked me how much does this cost and where did I buy this from, I'd be like, 75 bucks from Walmart or Costco maybe? I would not expect this to be a $200 shoe, no way. And I don't see anything on the inside of here that says it's worth even 100 bucks if we're being honest. Obviously there's collaboration and everything, but as a shoe, I don't think this is a $200 shoe. So is it just a cash grab? Well, it sure seems like it is. And I don't know, honestly, how they got to that $190 price point, which is a bummer because I feel bad talking on this shoe because he's a fellow YouTuber, obviously on a much bigger level, but I'm not convinced that Marquez knew enough about shoes to know that these were significantly overpriced. And I feel like Adam should have done a much better job of designing a shoe and a sneaker worth 200 bucks because that's their expertise. Marquez is the tech guy, he designed them, he wanted all these really cool things and have the meaning behind it. That's not on him. It's on the sneaker company he's collaborating with to not make a $65 shoe and put Marquez's name on it and try to sell it for 200 bucks. So ultimately, if it looks like a cash grab, if it feels like a cash grab, and it's priced like a cash grab, it's probably a cash grab. But that being said, he did achieve some of the goals because there's no disputing that this shoe is comfortable. And it looks pretty nice. It definitely looks like the Air Jordan 1. They're very light. And I like the meaning and the significance behind it. The 251, I like all that. But if any other brand made this shoe, I do not think people would be happy about it. And obviously there might be MOQ issues and different things that we talked about in the Opie Wave video that might account for some of this. But I think Adams is big enough and I feel like there's a big enough order that it doesn't justify the price increase above and beyond small differences in the economy of scale. So let me know what you think of this shoe and if you think it's a cash grab or what your opinion is on it, because I feel a little bit terrible about this review, but it's what we do. We gotta tell the truth and we can't hold any punches, even if it is a fellow YouTuber. So let me know what you guys think and thank you so much for all your support. And Marquez, if you're watching this, I apologize. Just say it wasn't your fault. And thank you guys for all your support. See ya. And Marquez, hire me, I'll make you a better shoe.